Good evening, my little niblets. Welcome to Night Night with Nanna Newf. Did you brush your teeth and wash your face and say your prayers? Are you all tucked in with blankie Lulla and teddy bears? Now that you're ready, my little sleepy eyes, enjoy a story time like the stars up in the skies. Sweet dreams. I love you, Nanna Newf. And in tonight's story, we are doing Curious George Says Thank You by Margaret and H.A. Ride. Do we all know about Curious George? Everybody loves Curious George. And this book comes with punch-out thank you cards. So this is going to be Curious George Says Thank You, written by Emily Flashner, Meyer, and Julie M. Bartynski, illustrated in the style of H.A. Rye by Anna Grossnickle, Hines. I hope I didn't butcher your names. Curious George Says Thank You. This is George. He's a good little monkey and always very curious. Today, George received a surprise in the mail. "It looks like you got a card, George," said the man with the yellow hat. It was a thank you from George's neighbor Betsy. "Dear George, thank you so much for the birthday present. I'm putting the stickers you gave me on everything, even this card. Sincerely, Betsy." The card made George smile. It also made him curious. Who could he have given a thank you card to? George thought and thought. He could send one to the Science Museum director, Dr. Lee, who had shown George her favorite collection of dinosaur fossils. Of course, there was also the librarian who helped him pick out his books. Said the store clerk at the market, always saved the best bananas for him. And his friend Bill let George fly his kite in the park. George had so many people to thank, he had to get started right away. First, he had to gather paper, envelopes, crayons, and stickers, and then he had to go straight to work. The man in the yellow hat walked in to find George covered from head to toe. "Uh-oh, George, what are you doing?" George held up Betsy's card and pointed to the papers scattered around him. "Oh, I see, George," said his friend. "You're making your own thank you cards. What a nice idea. Would you like some help?" The man wrote while George decorated. George was having so much fun that they even had a stack of extra cards. "We can hand deliver these tomorrow. Everyone will be happy to see you, George." Their first stop was the Science Museum. "George, it's so good to see you," said Dr. Lee. "What a lovely card. Am I going to hang on to it in my office right now?" Next, they stopped at the library. "What a great card," the librarian said. "I'm going to set it here on my desk, where everyone can see it, George. We might have new books in the children's section that you might like, if you have the time." George looked at his friend. "All right," the man said. "I'll go get a book for myself." George noticed the mail carrier leaving the library. She was the one who had brought George his thank you card in the first place. He wanted to give her one of his cards too. George hurried to the door. Could he catch her in time? I don't know. George jumped up and down on the steps, waving the card, but a group of children was just getting off the bus, and they were coming to the library for story hour. George couldn't see which way the mail carrier had gone. But oh, there's a street light nearby. George was curious. Maybe if he climbed it, he could see where the mail carrier was going. George started to climb the streetlights as fast as only a monkey can. But when he was halfway up the pole, his bag slipped off. In all of an instant, all of George's thank you cards went whirling through the air. Oh no, how would George deliver his cards now? George slid down the pole and grabbed the cards swiftly around him. A boy looked up. Hey, it's snowing mail. A little girl said, Don't worry, little monkey. We will help you pick up your cards. The children gathered up all the cards. George was very grateful for their help. He also grateful that he brought extra cards, so he decided to give all the children. These cards are so nice, said the teacher. The man with the yellow hat came hurrying down the steps. George, I didn't see you leave. It looks like you had quite an adventure out here. The man thanked the teacher and the students for helping George. Let's finish delivering these thank you cards, said the man. George and his friends stopped by the market and the park and then headed home. George felt a little sad that he hadn't caught up to the mail carrier, but wait, who was that in George's house? George proudly gave her a thank you card. Wow, George, said the mail carrier. I am usually the one delivering the cards. This is such a treat. George waved goodbye, and he and the man were into their house. But George had one more very special thank you card. He had saved on the best for last. And look, we have 2 cards here. There's 2 thank you cards that you can write. Here's a fill in the blanks to write a thank you card. Fill in the blanks and say thank you. Curious George would like to write a thank you letter to his librarian to thank her for helping him find a great book about monkeys. Can you help George fill in the blanks of the letter using the words below? Can you fill out this? What would it be? It would be Dear Mrs. Diamond, thank you so much for the book about monkeys. I love the pictures. I learned a lot. I didn't know the monkeys live in groups called troops. All of my friends are part of my troop, including you. Sincerely, Curious George. That is so sweet. The end. Oh, and look, comes in different languages if you're looking for it. This will be up on eBay. The thank you cards and all. My books start from $1.99 to $1.99. I'll see you all tomorrow night with our next book. Okay, love you all. Night, night, sweet dreams.